All right, we ready? Just gonna load it up. I say the lake is up a few feet higher than last time we were there, Buggy. Alright, so a couple hour drive up north, and we're greeted with some absolutely beautiful weather. What that means, we're going to get some epic drone shots of Lake Texoma, which, if you haven't already watched my first video, I'll give you an idea. By the way, the information that I provide to you as far as like facts and figures, just so you know, I pull that off the U.S., so the Army Corps of Engineers website. Since that video went up, I've had a bunch of people message me, and they said, oh, well, you know, my uncle's cousin's brother's ex-girlfriend's sister said that it was already up. It's no. Or yes, the water is high as fuck, but no, it's not, you know, over the spillway or whatever. It's not there yet. It's coming up, and I can actually go onto the Army Corps website, and I can see what it is hour by hour. As a matter of fact, it is still coming up, right? You can see that there, 6:33:93. It crested at 6:34 at 4 a.m. It's at 6:34:08. Like, it's going up. The lake is still taking in more water than they can release. And they're releasing at like max capacity because at least they control that. The Red River is swollen. I mean, we'll get some shots of that later, but anywho, my name is Peter. This is my chaotic fishing. This right here is probably gonna have a ridiculous amount of water flowing through it at some point in time in the not so distant future, because Lake Texoma is approaching critical flood stage and may potentially reach the spillway and be an uncontrolled release into the Red River. Stick around. I'm sorry for the vulgar language, but holy shiitake mushrooms, that is gnarly. Look at the size of the Red River right now. Absolutely swollen all over the dang place. Golly. Let me see if I can get a better shot for you right now. I know the microphone isn't going to pick up the audio on this as well as I hear it, but that is a crazy amount of water. That is more water being released now than was released the other day. It's over 43,000 cubic feet per second. I'm going to try to find an infographic to show you what 43,000 cubic feet even looks like. Like, how many buses, how many elephants is that? Let's take a look. I'm going to pick up the audio on this as well as I hear it, but that is a crazy amount of water. That is more water being released now than was released the other day. It's over 43,000 cubic feet per second. I'm going to try to find an infographic to show you what 43,000 cubic feet even looks like. Like, how many buses, how many elephants is that? Let's take a look. Gnarly. Gnarly. And of course, it sucks to see ambulance and emergency vehicles and all that different stuff, but with the water coming up so high, there are always going to be people that don't get ready. So we're here at the tailwater of Lake Texoma, basically the spillway. It's Tuesday, May 8th, and currently According to the Army Corps website, it is at 634.08, which is just over 18 feet above full pool. So it's flooded by 18 feet, and they're currently releasing 43,000 cubic feet per second of water. It is so loud right now. For anybody who cares about fishing, you can see on the other side of the lake, the other side of the river here, there's so much bait busting over there. That side is all closed down. You don't have access to that side right now. But those slack waters just off of the current are going to hold a ton of bait, and it becomes an absolute buffet for the striper and all the other predatory fish. Man. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at you. What are you doing? What are you doing, kitty cat? You enjoying the view? What is it? What is it? You want to see it? Go ahead. You can see over here the current as it comes out. I mean, look at the waves that current makes up on the shore just from the sheer volume of water being released. Right now, like I said, on the website, shows over 43,000 cubic feet of water coming out, but coming in, according to the Army Corps website, right now is 80,000 cubic feet. So while the intake and the runoff, the surge, all that has kind of subsided, it's still nearly 40,000. So as much water is being released right now, the same amount is coming in and causing the lake to rise. So just over 18 feet over full pool. So 18 feet of flooding. If you've ever fished Texoma, any of that shoreline that you normally fish right now, you'd nearly be under 20 feet of water. That is insane. Look at how much the river is swollen right now when they release that much water. But man, it'll sure make for some good fishing. Obviously, this amount of flow is going to be here for a while, which means all those big striper, they're gonna have time to move up the river. And at some point in time, it is gonna be nuts to butts, shoulder to shoulder, an absolute madhouse here, I'm sure. 43,000 cubic feet per second. You can see there's already a guy out on his boat out there. I'm sure that dude is absolutely hooked up. Crazy. We're currently at the Spillway ramp here on Lake Texoma. Army Corps engineers showing over 18 feet high and rising. It is the speed at which the water is rising is starting to subside. Inflow into the lake, they're currently estimating at a bit over 80,000 cubic feet per second, and they're currently releasing just over 43,000. So the speed at which the lake is rising has started to decrease, and without any additional water in the forecast, looks like it might be safe. What do you think, Bug?
I like it.
Okay. Hi, Buggy, where are we at right now?
We're at Lake Texoma, and it's flooding almost 20 feet right now.
Oh my goodness. That is awesome. Now that it's not raining, we have an opportunity to drive around the lake a bit more, go check out some of the marinas and see just how high it is. You can see here, this is the Spillway Road. That's the lake. That's the Spillway. and that's the lake. Look at that, some flooded bushes. Anybody want to go flip bushes for some largemouth? Boy, this is a super common sight right now. Everything just blocked off. If you've ever fished Lake Texoma before, you may or might not recognize where we're at. That it's usually a hike to get down there. Man, I think I just heard something bust. That's right, this is the road down to the Eisenhower ramp. It's so hard to fathom the amount of water that is being held in the lake right now. I mean, just how high this is. This road drops down, right? Like, there's the light poles. We're basically at eye level with the light poles. That ramp down there, that thing, if it's not broken, I don't know how it's hanging on. You can see the light pole for the ramp is about a foot or two higher. Crazy, insane. It's interesting that some of these docks haven't floated away. I guess they made some changes. They made some improvements. They learned some things from when it flooded back in 2015. Because what happens is those docks, they're attached to poles, right? But the poles are only so high. So if the lake level rises above the height of those poles, the docks come off and they just float away. And that happened. That happened to a lot of places back in 2015. And I think what they did with a lot of these now is they actually capped those poles. Maybe they capped the poles at you know, at lake level or lake elevation, you know, 645 or something like that. I don't know. There's not really a good way to do that, right? Because if you have those poles and the docks come off the poles, they can float away. If you have those poles and you have some sort of cabling on there, but then the docks rise above the poles, you know, and they float off of the pole. Well, then when the lake goes back down, right, if they're not on the pole, then how do you get them back on? And I don't know. It's like I said, there's smarter people than me that deal with this stuff, but it is still just, I mean, it's, you know, I'm in shock, I'm in awe. Nature finds a way. What do you think, bud?
I like it, and it's cool.
You like it, and it's cool. There is some topwater action. There's absolutely some topwater action out here. Surprise, surprise. All right, so we're doing a bunch of driving around the lake. Again, my name is Peter. This is My Chaotic Fishing. If you haven't already subscribed, you find anything that I do interesting, go ahead and subscribe. You can always unsubscribe later. Like, it doesn't cost you anything. It supports me and all this crazy stuff that I do, whether it's fishing from the bank, the boat, the kayak, whether it's road trips and travel vlogs, whether it's, you know, now we're gonna add over, you know, flooding lakes and all the different stuff to the mix. All this stuff is genuinely interesting to me. But sometimes I'm not alone. Today, my partner in crime, he's getting a little hangry. I don't blame him. I've been up since 5. I woke him up a little bit later. But it's time to eat. Is it time to eat?
Yep.
Time to eat. You getting hangry?
Yeah.
You get your hat and your glasses, we'll go in and grab a bite, or just your hat. And, you know, if you're not from around here, then you might not be able to chime in. But if you are from the North Texas area, if you are someone who's ever been to Texoma, and if you've done any fishing or just sightseeing, maybe around Texoma, which, by the way, it's absolutely beautiful place. Tons of camping with super easy access to fishing spots that are, you know, pretty decent fishing spots. I'm just saying, you might sub to my channel and see some stuff. Where is your favorite place to eat around Lake Texoma? Let me know. Right now, I'm at the Crispy Crunchy Chicken. No, I'm at a gas station. You know, over in the Highport area. So if you know the area, then you know the area. But they got some good sandwiches here, and yeah, we're just gonna keep on keeping on, grab a bite to eat, and hopefully cut to some sort of epic drone shot of Lake Texoma flooding here sometime in the near future. I hope you're doing well, staying rad, and yeah, cue the epic drone shot. It's recording what's on that screen, okay?
Okay. No,
What were you doing?
I was recording it from over there.
Oh.